Hey guys, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/EntitledParents, where people share their best stories about entitled parents. If you enjoy this video, smash the like button as it would really help me out. And subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Entitled kid probably got nightmares after entitled mother demanded that her son play a game on my computer. Okay, so here's the cast. Me, some random dude in my house, I don't know who that is. My mom, entitled mother, my aunt, and entitled kid. Most annoying kid in the universe. Okay, so some context and backstory. I still live in my parents' house since my university is really close, so I don't need to get myself an apartment. The story happened about a year ago. The story. On a beautiful Sunday morning, I got woken up by my mother telling me that she has invited my aunt with her kids for lunch. Now, to be honest, I never liked that particular aunt that much, but what can you do? So about 2 hours later, the family comes over. We have our lunch, and afterwards we sit around the living room and chat about. At some point, I noticed from the corner of my eye one of my aunt's kids, entitled kid, going to my room. Now I had my computer open, and I was a bit afraid that he might do something to it, so I followed him. Now that kid was about 8 at the time, and he should in no way be allowed to play violent video games. And me being an avid gamer, most, if not all of the games I had installed, were rated as PEGI 18, meaning they were to be played by people over 18. The conversation went like this. Entitled kid. Do you have any games? I go, I do, but they are not for you. These are grown-up games. But I want to play. I'm sorry, but you cannot. At this point, the kid runs out of my room and to his mom. Entitled kid. OP does not let me play games. Entitled mother, to me. Come on, let him play some games. He has nothing else to do. I go, the games that I have on my computer are not for his age. They are violent and disturbing at times. But my little boy wants to play. Can't you let him play? I'm sorry, but these games are not for your child. Excuse me? We are guests, and you have to do what we say. Just let him play. At this point, I've gotten really angry, and in hindsight, I should have just opened a Flash Games website and let him play. But this computer was my most prized possession, having built it myself with mostly my own money. And I would not let an 8-year-old play freely with it because I was afraid that he could damage it. Also, my malicious compliance side came out at that moment, so I did not pass the chance for some good old malicious compliance. I say okay to both mom and child and take the kid with me. I open Outlast. For those who don't know, Outlast is a horror game with many disturbing images and scary scenes, especially for an 8-year-old child, and let him play. Not even 5 minutes in, I hear a scream from my room and I can see EK running and crying to his mother. Entitled mother, what the hell did you make him play? What's wrong with you? I told you before, my games are not for young children. They are for adults. But you wouldn't listen. The mom straight up picked up her child, one still crying, and left the house. After I told my mom what exactly I did, she bursts out laughing. Learn to listen to people when they warn you. Honestly, entitled mother was warned. But we're guests, so you have to do what we say. Entitled mom leaves her son alone on my porch for hours. So a little backstory. I recently moved into a new house in a small town, the kind where everyone knows everyone. I moved to this town from a bigger city, so it was a bit of an adjustment, but I liked the quiet and it was closer to my new job, which was a plus. My new job was at a daycare center, important later, that opened at 6 in the morning. I requested the opening shift so that I would get off at 2 p.m. and be able to have some free time in the afternoons. Now, when I moved into the neighborhood, a few of the neighbors stopped by to welcome me and gave me a plate of cookies, casseroles, etc. One woman, our future entitled mother, and her family came by to say hello and asked me where I worked. I told them I was a daycare worker, entitled mother. Oh, really? I've been looking for somewhere to have my boys stay when I'm at work over the summer. What ages do you watch? I go, 5 to 6-year-olds. That's
perfect,
she says with a smile. Yeah, I'd be happy to see him in my class if you ever decided to enroll him. This was the seed that would sprout into a giant tree of crazy. Now, on with the show. So it was a typical morning for me. Up at the butt crack of dawn and out the door at 5:45 to get to work by 6. It was a pretty uneventful day. Nothing major happening, so by the time 2 p.m. rolled around, the day had flown by. Come to find out, this was not the case for everyone today. I arrived home to find a police car with the entitled mother with her 5-year-old son talking to the police on my porch. I was confused as there was no reason for her to be there, and no one had tried to contact me about anything happening at my house. I park and get out of my car and start to walk to the house, and I call out, "What's going on?" The entitled mother was not talking to the police. She was screaming, and upon seeing me, she completely exploded. Entitled mother:
"How dare you leave my son outside all day? He could have been kidnapped."
She continued on like that as 2 police officers approached me. PO1 and PO2. PO1: "Excuse me, miss, but did you leave this little boy outside while you were gone?" I go, "No. I left for work early this morning. I'm just now getting home. I've been at work all day." At this point, I look over at entitled mother and her son. The son was filthy. It looked like he had been playing in the dirt, his knee was scratched but not bloody, and he was holding an open backpack that had contained a coloring book and crayons based on what he was laying all over my porch. The officers looked stunned a bit and looked at each other. They asked me to follow them, and we make our way up onto the porch. Entitled mother:
"Aren't you going to arrest her? She endangered my son. What kind of babysitter are you?"
I go, "Babysitter?"
"Yes, you're a babysitter. You told me you were when I stopped by before. Well, some babysitter you are. Look what you did to my son. You said you'd be happy to watch him."
Finally, understanding what's going on, I go, "Oh no, you misunderstood me. I work at a daycare a few minutes away. I don't run a daycare out of my house. I said I would be happy to have him in my class at the daycare." Entitled mother:
"Don't lie. You're just trying to cover your butt."
PO1: "Can you prove that you were at this daycare today?" I say that I can and pull out my phone and call the center. The police offered talking to my boss for a few minutes before handing me back my phone. PO2: "Ma'am, was this woman here when you dropped your son off?" Entitled mother:
"Yes, she was. I saw her through the window."
"Ma'am, her boss just confirmed that she was at work." Entitled mother, cutting him off:
"She's lying. I bet she just called a friend to cover her butt. I bet you don't even have a job. That's why she has to run a crappy babysitting service out of her crappy house."
I go, "I just got home from work. There weren't even any cars in the driveway." Entitled mother:
"Yes, there was. You probably left through the back door. You were supposed to watch him. You said you would watch him and you never opened the door for him to come inside. He's angry and thirsty, and look at him. He's covered in dirt. You should have let him in and watched him."
"Weren't you listening? I'm not a babysitter. I work at a daycare. I said I would be happy to watch him if you enrolled him there."
"She's lying."
Police officer: "Ma'am, did this woman speak to you this morning about watching your son?" I go, "No, like I said, I was at work by 6. Have the 2 of you ever set up a time for you to watch your son?" "No, this is only my second conversation with her. The first was me explaining where I work. I guess she got confused." Entitled mother:
"You lying little booger. I'm going to tell everyone how crappy you are at babysitting, and you'll never get any work again. Good luck keeping your house when you're unemployed."
I go, "For the last time, lady, I'm not a babysitter." Police officer: "Ma'am, you left your child here without any conversation that anyone was even home."
"So? She's a babysitter. She's supposed to watch him."
"Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to arrest you for child endangerment." The entitled mother turns from angry to furious and begins yelling at me for misleading her, completely dropping the whole "she's lying" story and saying she's going to sue me. It's been a few weeks now. The mom was let go, for whatever reason, and the little boy goes to the daycare I work at now. I just wish I had a picture of entitled mother's face when she realized I was her son's teacher and that I wasn't lying after all. But that's a story for another time. Now that's an entitled parent story.
You have to watch my son, even if you're at work.
Principal won't let girl go to her father's funeral. This is not my story, this is my girlfriend's story from school. Almost 10 years ago. Here's the cast. EP, entitled principal, parent kid, principal's kid, G, my girlfriend, and S, girlfriend's sister. Me and my girlfriend were talking about traumatic events in our lives. I talked about my narcissist mother and my entitled extended family, and after a couple of stories, she told me this story. Back in 7th grade, my girlfriend was helping 4th and 5th graders after school with lessons, homework, etc. One of them was the principal's kid. He apparently was a shy kid that was really smart but wouldn't speak at the blackboard, so he had a ton of problems. After hearing this story, I understand why he was so shy. Anyway, in the month of May, my girlfriend's dad died because of leukemia, and at the end of May, it was his funeral. My girlfriend and her sister were destroyed by this and were discouraged from doing these private lessons after school. On Thursday the 29th, my girlfriend and sister told the principal that they wouldn't be coming on Friday because of the funeral. Principal's kid was sitting at the computer in the same room. This is the conversation. Not 100% because this happened back in 2008. My girlfriend to entitled principal. We came to tell you that we can't come to school because of the funeral on Friday. Entitled principal.
That's okay. You will still come to teach at the after-school classes, right?
Sister goes, we can't. Me and my sister will be where my dad grew up to bury him.
What? Then who will teach my son for his exams?
In Romania, you have like a small exam every 2 grades until the 8th grade. Sister goes, your son is the smartest kid in his class. He doesn't need us. He's just shy. Entitled principal.
I don't care. You won't leave this school on Friday or I will kick you out.
In that moment, my girlfriend snapped. How about you shut it and let us go see our father for the last time before he is buried? You are the reason Kay is so shy. You are controlling every single movement he does. Girlfriend then began crying and breaking down while entitled principal was screaming back and sister was defending girlfriend. And that moment when Kay finally stood up against his mom. Kid goes, Mom, let them go. It's their last chance to see their father. You would do the same if it was your father. Entitled principal was as red as a tomato, but she calmed down and let them go on Friday. When girlfriend and sister's mother heard what happened, she was livid. On Monday, when they came back, apparently girlfriend's mother went to the principal's office and went crazy. Her mother went to the Minister of Education in I don't really know how to pronounce that. And managed to get entitled principal fired during the summer and managed to make it so she couldn't get into education again. After school ended in June, they immediately moved to a private school the next school year. Hope you guys like this story, even if it's not like the usual. Those were some crazy entitled parent stories. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below on some other video ideas you guys want to see. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.